We're following breaking news out of Scarborough. A person found dead with gunshot wounds just after 3:30 this afternoon in a wooded area near the University of Toronto Scarborough campus. The homicide unit now investigating. Good evening. The university issued a critical alert in response to the incident. A brief lockdown was in place, but has since been lifted.
Students and staff are being asked to avoid the Highland Creek Valley area, and officers are expected to provide an update tonight as part of this developing investigation. CTV's Beth McDonnell is live at the scene this hour with what we know. Beth.
Natalie, Nathan, I'm on Old Kingston Road, and this blockade here leads to the University of Toronto Scarborough campus. I spoke to Toronto police, and what they tell me is that shortly after 3:30 this afternoon, someone called police about a person with serious injuries. When Toronto police arrived, they found that person, performed life-saving measures, but that person did not survive, and they are deceased. Now, from here, homicide investigators are arriving. Police are here. This area is blocked at the moment. We aren't sure exactly where the immediate crime scene is. What we are hearing from the university is that there is an ongoing police investigation in the Highland Creek Valley area of the University of Toronto Scarborough campus. Police have advised that to the university to lift the lockdown that was in place, and the sheltering in place is no longer required. And given this situation, however, they are still telling people to continue to avoid what's known as the valley and the parking lot in the valley. And they are saying that updates will continue to be posted on the Scarborough campus status website. So what we also know right now is that community members who were in campus buildings can now leave. They are free to come and go. The pathways into the valley remain closed, and people are just being advised to avoid the valley area. So we also were able to kind of just briefly connect with the officers here, and we aren't sure exactly how far this crime scene is down into this area. Police do tell us it's not on the campus, that it's on a trail. It sounds like almost like kind of a wooded area, a very dark area, but this is a road where the person was found that cars are able to drive on, and we are waiting for police to arrive here, and we will bring you the latest as it becomes available. Back to you, Natalie and Nathan.
Okay, thank you, Beth. The lawyer accused of playing a role in the international drug trafficking operation of fugitive and ex-Olympian Ryan Wedding was granted bail today.
A Toronto judge set bail at more than $5 million and said he believes Deepak Paradkar will cooperate with the justice system, if only to save his own life. CP24, make that CTV, John Woodward was at the hearing today and joins us live with the latest. John.
Nathan, lawyer Deepak Paradkar has faced high stakes in court before, but today it was his own freedom and maybe even his own life at stake, as a judge said that this extraordinary case simply has no precedent here.
Are you concerned for your husband's safety?
No answer today from Mandy Paradkar about the responsibility she has to keep tabs on her husband after he was released on bail on Thursday. Justice Peter Bodden saying if lawyer Deepak Paradkar stays under house arrest with her and puts down $5 million, he can leave the notorious Toronto South Jail, where Paradkar testified several inmates on his range were stabbed in a knife fight, and Bodden said couldn't guarantee his safety. A danger that could pale in comparison to what Paradkar could face on the outside, Bodden said, saying the network of former Olympian turned alleged drug lord Ryan Wedding would probably not help him flee. The troubling reality is that these individuals are more likely to kill Mr. Paradkar than to protect him in exchange for silence, Bodden said. The most compelling reason to believe that Mr. Paradkar will attend court is that it may be the only way to stay alive. The irony unmissable. Paradkar himself is accused of advising Wedding to kill a witness to stop an American prosecution. An informant was murdered in Colombia in January.
He's shocked. He's very concerned.
Paradkar has commented frequently in the media on his Ontario cases, from the murder of a young father and the extradition of Yahoo hacker Kareem Baratov.
Clearly there was pressure by the U.S.
That was the case where he appeared opposite Crown lawyer Heather Graham, the same lawyer who sought to keep him behind bars now. Paradkar will wear an ankle bracelet and is not allowed to use electronic devices to communicate with anyone except through his wife.
Paradkar's next step is to start his fight to stop the extradition to the United States, where authorities there hope to try him. Bodden said he believed that Paradkar and Paradkar's wife would not disappoint him, looking the lawyer in his eyes, and the last thing he said to him was, "Prove me right." Reporting live from the 361 University Courthouse, I'm John Woodward. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, John. A couple in their 60s are fighting for their lives in hospital after they were pulled from an early morning blaze at a Scarborough home.
Fire Chief Jim Jessup saying crews arrived to heavy smoke and flame, heroically entering the home to rescue the two people trapped inside. CTV's Janice Golding has the details.
Charred furniture is strewn across a lawn. The home they came from also heavily damaged, blackened walls and blown out windows left in the wake of a devastating house fire.
Upon arrival, our crews were met with visible flame and heavy smoke coming out of the second floor. Our crews immediately made entry, started their primary search, and rescued the two occupants from the building from the second floor.
Fire crews were called to the scene just before 5:30 a.m. and say they wasted no time, given they'd been advised there were two people inside, a couple in their early 60s who were rushed to hospital via emergency run with critical life-threatening injuries.
I'm still in disbelief that this happened.
Jamie Smith says he was at work early this morning and listening to the radio when he heard there had been a fire on the street.
So I phoned my wife and said that there's a fire on your sister's street. And she went and checked the feed. I guess it was CTV or something that it was on. And then she said, "That's my sister's house." So I left the shop, she left home, and we arrived here.
He says when they arrived at the home on Snowball Crescent near Nielsen and Shepherd, they were met by a devastating scene and quickly learned their loved ones were in hospital, the family dog nowhere to be found.
They're in the hospital on life support, and their kids are there with them.
Smith says two of the couple's children lived at home but were away at the time of the fire. A third child boarded a plane from Edmonton today to be here for her family. Given the severity of the injuries, the fire marshal's office was called in to investigate. However, at this point, it's far too soon to say where or how the blaze started.
So I can't comment on smoke alarms or anything that might be linked to the origin, cause, or circumstances. Certainly, the reports I received are the heaviest damage was on the second floor.
The fire chief extended Toronto Fire's thoughts and prayers to the couple fighting for their lives, a sentiment echoed by neighbors.
So sad. So some guy is a very good guy, right? So sometimes it's a mistake, right?
Pretty saddened. I mean, like, because it's so close to Christmas and everything.
Christmas just 2 days away.
I don't know. Just got to try and help them out as much as I can now.
But this year, impossible to celebrate for this Scarborough family.
Janice Golding, CTV News.
In Oshawa, police are on the hunt for a suspect after a man was fatally stabbed this morning.
A home near where the man was found is believed to be linked to the incident, but police would not say how it's connected. CTV's Sean Leathong has the details.
A police tent marks the location on John Street South in Oshawa, where a man was found with multiple stab wounds early this morning.
He was taken to a Toronto area trauma center where he has since succumbed to his injuries.
It was 4:15 this morning when a passerby saw a man lying in the street and called 911. Durham police and paramedics attended the scene. No identity or age of the victim and no arrests. But much of the investigation seemed to focus on a nearby house.
So that's part of the ongoing investigation to determine where exactly it occurred. The male was located outside, transported from there, and that's the information we have at this time.
Police have also set up a tent in the backyard of the home. One neighbor who did not want to appear on camera said the home is split into two separate apartments, one in the basement and another on the upper floors. They said the upper floors were vacant. Also, she heard yelling very early this morning. Another neighbor says there's been police activity along that side of the road.
Time to time, yeah, I do see police on that side. I can't pinpoint which house, but there has been police activity over on that side from time to time.
While yet another neighbor says she's growing concerned with the direction of the area.
I mean, it's the third one in like 3 years now. There was the shooting at Cash Connections, or the stabbing. There was a shooting last week, now this. It's definitely going up.
Durham Police Homicide have taken over the investigation, spending much of the day canvassing the area. They're asking for the public's help in identifying the suspect.
So we don't have any suspect information, which is why we're here making this appeal. We are encouraging anyone to call the homicide unit directly.
Despite the fact that there is no suspect description, Durham Regional Police say they don't believe there is any danger to the public at this time. But if that changes, they will notify the public. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
A shocking moment for a Cambridge family. A car crashed through the front of their home Friday night. Police say the driver was fleeing a ride checkpoint nearby when the car hit the house. The ride checkpoint was near King and Fountain Street. The car crashed into the home on Sharing Street just minutes later. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but damage to the home was extensive. Christmas ornaments smashed and holiday decor buried under debris. The family says right now they're focused on feeling safe in their own home again.
Christmas is certainly going to look a lot different this year, and there was a nice new hole for Santa to come through and give us presents, but we're just grateful that everybody is okay.
If you're going to have some drinks, it's Christmas time. Everybody should have fun. Just be safe about it. Obviously, this is the worst case scenario that could possibly happen. This could have turned out so differently for all of the individuals involved, including the driver. I'm shocked that nobody was hurt.
A 23-year-old man from Kitchener was arrested at the scene and is facing criminal charges as well as other driving offenses. And in Mississauga, a woman was injured after being struck by a vehicle in a Costco parking lot. A car with significant damage can be seen outside the store near Dundas and Winston Churchill. Peel police say the pedestrian that was hit and the driver involved were both taken to hospital, but they're both expected to be okay. The cause of the crash is not known.
More news in a moment, but first a live look at the city this Tuesday night down at Nathan Phillips Square. It has been cloudy and a bit misty out there, and it will get gusty too, with a special weather statement in effect for strong winds tonight. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Yeah, Natalie, a little bit of everything today. We had some heavy wet snow first thing in the morning. That switched over to some rain. We had some fog and some drizzle, like you mentioned. And now it's time for those winds. We are under a special weather statement here in the city of Toronto. Warning of northwest gusts anywhere from 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. That's likely to happen late evening and overnight. The winds not too bad right now. They are still coming out of the west at around 20 kilometers per hour. And it's mild out there, 3 degrees at this hour, +3. It still feels a little bit cooler than that once you take the winds into consideration. Gone is the active weather that we saw this morning. But yes, behind it, we've still got some cloud cover and a little bit of drizzle in some areas too. Overnight tonight, we drop to a low of about -1 degree. It'll feel cooler than that, thanks again to those very strong winds. Conditions look pretty calm over the next couple of days, but there is one day in our festive forecast that we're going to want to pay special attention to. We'll talk about the risk of freezing rain or possibility of snow for Boxing Day coming up. For now, Natalie, I'm going to send it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, delayed deliveries and other postal problems. 2025 was a challenging year for anyone looking to mail it in. We look back at the impact of the Canada Post strike on small business just ahead. But first, a new poll forecasting next year's mayoral race suggests Olivia Chow would beat former Mayor John Tory in a potential rematch. The Liaison Strategies poll has Chow leading with 39% support compared to Tory's 35%. Neither Chow nor Tory have said whether they will run again. Confirmed mayoral candidate Brad Bradford's support has doubled since the summer to 16%.
What we've seen since July is he's been doing more events. He's declared he's actually running for mayor. That always helps, telling people what you're doing. And his ratings have gone up as a result. Now we're seeing double the amount of support for Mr. Bradford than we found in July. So he's gone from 8 to 16. Now that's pretty positive movement, but he would have to keep going at that rate for almost all of next year to be able to be competitive. So quite a ways to go just yet.
The election is October 26th, 2026.
U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada and the patriotic response has been named the Canadian Press News Story of the Year. The trade war dominated headlines affecting politics, the economy, and national identity, with nearly 2/3 of Canadian editors and news directors calling it the most consequential story of 2025. Prime Minister Mark Carney led the Liberals to re-election, promoting an elbows-up strategy of Canadian resilience amid stalled U.S. trade talks. The economy took a hit from tariffs but rebounded in the third quarter, aided by trade exemptions under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement.
There is growing tension tonight between the U.S. and Venezuela over access to the South American country's oil.
Washington has already seized 2 oil tankers and is after a third. But as CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports, the U.S. president's interest in Venezuelan oil could have implications for Canada.
Off the coast of Venezuela, sanctioned oil tankers have become the target of U.S. authorities. 2 have been intercepted and seized already, along with millions of barrels of oil, and Washington says it's after more.
Maybe we'll sell it, maybe we'll keep it. Maybe we'll use it in the strategic reserves. We're keeping it. We're keeping the ships also.
The U.S. has increased its military presence in the Caribbean Sea. Trump ordered a blockade last week, calling it the biggest armada the U.S. has ever had in South America. Today, Venezuelans hit the streets in protest of the U.S. president they call Pirate Trump, who Monday had this warning for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
He can do whatever he wants. It's all right. Whatever he wants to do. If he wants to do something, if he plays tough, it'll be the last time he's ever able to play tough.
Meanwhile, the tension could have implications for Canada.
Venezuela has some of the largest oil reserves in the world. They're primarily heavy oil and bitumen, which are very much like what Canada's reserves are here in Alberta in the oil sands.
Political instability in Venezuela has given Canadian oil producers the advantage, but if that changes, it could mean increased competition.
This makes it all the more important for us to think about sending our oil again to the Pacific, to a Northwest Pacific pipeline, knowing that the Asian market is growing.
Trump's interest in Venezuelan oil could eventually force a fight for access to the U.S. market. But the question is,
how long would it take to build the projects that could start to displace Western Canadian oil? And I think that would take a long time.
That means time is in Canada's favor. And in the short term, it could actually increase demand for Canadian heavy crude, but it could also lead to uncertainty and price volatility in the market. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
The U.S. Justice Department released a new trove of documents related to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein today. The latest includes around 30,000 pages of documents, and once again, many are heavily redacted. CTV's Abigail Beeman has an update.
Another deluge of documents about sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, including an email saying U.S. President Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously reported. The trove includes a disturbing letter purported to be written by Epstein to Larry Nassar in prison, the U.S. Olympics gymnastic team doctor convicted of sexual abuse, reading in part, "Good luck. We shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies and the hope they reach their full potential. And our president also shares our love of young nubile girls, and life is unfair." The letter doesn't mention Trump by name, and CTV News has not confirmed whether it is authentic. Late Tuesday, the Department of Justice said the FBI confirmed the letter is fake after flagging discrepancies such as a postmark from Virginia and not New York, where Epstein was jailed. Haley Robson is an Epstein abuse survivor and former Trump supporter.
I would love to see number 47 get impeached over this.
The Department of Justice posted this controversial message. Some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims against the president, but doesn't mention specifics.
It's troubling, to say the least. The statement now from the DOJ being on the defensive when it was really their job to release these documents, their job to properly redact victims' names, that they completely failed to do.
What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has.
The slow leak of heavily redacted information has been criticized by both Epstein victims and lawmakers. The scandal continues to plague the president and Republicans ahead of the midterm elections in 2026. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Alberta, 3 more recall petitions have been issued for members of the provincial legislature. They include 2 United Conservative backbenchers and 1 opposition New Democrat. The petitioners looking to oust the UCP members are opposed to the government's use of the notwithstanding clause to force striking teachers back to work. The party says the petitions are an abusive process and should not be used just because someone disagrees with government policy.
Many questions still remain about the future of Canada Post, despite a tentative agreement to end the strike.
The deal provides a bit of reassurance to small businesses, but it appears some have already moved on, choosing other options. CTV's Scott Hurst has more on that.
Labor unrest between Canada Post and its union representing 55,000 postal workers and uncertainty about the future forced this Toronto small business to make a choice.
We had to go a different route this holiday season.
Retailer Province of Canada ships clothing across the country, and by turning away from Canada Post, is now relying on multiple carriers to fill the gap.
After last year's strike and then this September, we just didn't feel we had the confidence to go into the holiday season with them again.
But a tentative deal between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers announced on Monday may at least provide some stability.
So on the one hand, short run, good news. In the longer term, it doesn't solve the underlying structural problems.
Canada Post said the agreements include a 6.5% wage increase in year 1, a 3% hike in year 2, and increases matching inflation in years 3 through 5. They also include enhanced benefits and a weekend parcel delivery model, which had been a key sticking point in negotiations.
They are still bleeding. They are hemorrhaging incredible amounts of money. So they're a long way away from where they have to be. They've got a huge job ahead to become more dynamic and productive and competitive.
And maybe that will be enough to win back at least this Toronto business.
I think until this gets fully sorted out properly, then we can maybe reconsider going back to them for next year.
CUPW's national board is recommending its members accept the deals. Ratification votes are set to take place early next year. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Time is ticking if you still need to pick up some last-minute Christmas gifts, and shoppers are out in full force in malls across the city.
I've noticed that shoppers started early this year because retailers launched their Black Friday promotions earlier than ever. But other than that, I would say our traffic patterns are very similar from last year. And I still think that people are shopping in the center because they're able to get something tangible to avoid any last-minute shipping delays.
Shoppers are being advised to avoid peak hours for a smoother experience. And for those waiting for Boxing Day deals to make a purchase, retail analyst Bruce Winder says some of them have already started.
Retailers have sort of extended the period for major shopping events. Boxing Week has already started. Canadian Tire started last week. Amazon started on Saturday. And that's just a major trend. I think the idea is to try to get consumers engaged more days of the calendar year, so they can shop more and buy more merchandise. But yeah, definitely that's a new trend.
Most malls have extended hours tonight, staying open until 9:30. But if you're still scrambling on Christmas Eve, you'll have to head out early, with most shopping centers closing at around 5 p.m.
An iPad 4 and coming up on Consumer Alert, squishy toys are popular with children, and many parents find they can even have a calming effect. But now a new investigation finds these toys can break open, and what's inside can be dangerous. All of that story, that's just ahead.
Well, the holidays are here. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and if you plan to be out on the roads the next couple of days, conditions are looking pretty good for travel. I know the odds of a white Christmas have lessened in the GTA, especially close to the shoreline of Lake Ontario, but look what comes for Boxing Day. We are looking at the possibility of some snow, but maybe also a period of freezing rain. We're going to take a detailed look at your 7-day forecast coming up. Stay with us, CTV News. We'll be right back.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
If your kids love those soft, squishy fidget toys, the ones you squeeze for stress relief, you might want to take a closer look.
A new investigation has found that some of the toys can break open and leak liquids that could be dangerous. Here's Pat Foran in Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Natalie and Nathan. The toys can be fun to use and children play with them for hours, but if they break open, some contain gel that can irritate the skin or even cause chemical burns. Loved by kids, these bright, colorful squishy balls are often marketed as calming sensory tools, but there is a troubling trend. Hundreds of one-star reviews on Amazon saying the toys popped within an hour or broke within 2 hours of playing with it. The sticky gel from some toys left kids with red, irritated, or peeling skin. Reports on the website saferproducts.gov claim children suffered severe skin irritation after their squishy toys burst open.
Breakage alone is a concern, but when we saw reports of kids with red or peeling skin and even chemical burn-like injuries, that really raised serious questions, and it made us want to take a look at what's inside of these.
Companies don't have to list the ingredients of what's inside these squishy toys. Consumer Reports tested some of them to learn more about what they're made of.
Scientists bought 8 squishy gel toys, broke them open, and tested the pH of the gel inside. 7 had a neutral pH. One of them, the Nido Groovy Glob, had a pH level of 2, which is as acidic as lemon juice or vinegar.
That level of acidity could pose a risk of chemical burns, especially on children's delicate skin. Schilling, the maker of Nido, challenged the findings and said the inner gel is made of polyvinyl alcohol, which is safe for skin contact. The company said after selling 100 million Nido toys, there have only been 4 reports of incidents to the Consumer Product Safety Commission. TikTok trends have been encouraging people to microwave squishy toys to make them softer. Don't do that. Testers found some toys exploded after just 15 seconds, reaching temperatures above 200 degrees, which could cause instant burns.
Never microwave or freeze them. Don't leave them in the car. Don't give gel-filled toys to babies or toddlers.
And if one does break on your child's skin, wash it off right away and throw the toy out. And if you have these toys, check them often to see if they have been damaged or if they're starting to have holes or tears. If they do, don't take chances and just get rid of them. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
All right, let's talk about the forecast. Winter is here. It seems like there's always something this time of year. Now we're talking about the wind.
Yeah, it should be windy tonight, right, Linz? But clear skies so that Santa can see where he's going tomorrow night.
Yeah, that fog earlier today had me thinking about Rudolph. Fortunately, the sky should be a little more clear for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Slight chance of a little bit of freezing drizzle late tomorrow evening. Shouldn't be all that impactful. But Friday's weather, Boxing Day. If you have travel plans that day, you may want to pay attention to the forecast. Here's what the weather looked like late last night. We had those big, wet snowflakes falling around the GTA and just outside of it, too. This was Kitchener-Waterloo. Beautiful to look at, but boy, oh boy, by this morning, some melting happening, a little bit of rain and drizzle. It was a slushy mess out there. And now as the temperature falls through the overnight hours tonight, you'll want to take care and be mindful of potentially some slippery spots if you're venturing out either overnight or into the early morning hours tomorrow. But yes, the wind is a concern for us tonight. Special weather statement issued by Environment Canada, warning of gusts anywhere from 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. That could be enough to result in some power outages, especially for rural areas a little further north of the GTA. It's 3 degrees where we are right now. It's 5 degrees, +5 in the Windsor area. But look at Ottawa, -8 degrees. It's been snowing all day long. And look at these temperatures in northern Ontario. -25 degrees right now in Peawanuck, feeling into the -30s. Overnight tonight, we fall to about -1, -2 degrees, depending on where you are. That's actually now our average daytime high this time of year. But tomorrow, we're going to climb above the freezing mark. Once again, 2 degrees is what we're forecasting. Beautiful mix of sun and cloud for the morning. A little bit of cloud cover sneaking back in for the afternoon. Daytime highs 4 degrees on the plus side in Welland, 2 in Burlington, -1 though in Aurora. So depending on where you're joining us from, you're either going to be enjoying some mild warmth or perhaps it'll be -6 degrees for you in the Huntsville area. We've talked a lot about whether or not it's going to be a white Christmas. When I say it's more likely to be a green or brown Christmas, I'm mainly talking about the GTA. Still a good amount of snow in many areas outside of our region, including for you in Huntsville. Not a whole lot of active weather, though, over the next 24 to 48 hours. And it's really over the next 30 hours that we're paying close attention, because in order to have that white Christmas, you need 2 centimeters of snow on the ground at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning. Again, doesn't look like we're getting anything fresh here. There's tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. It's looking pretty dry in our neck of the woods. Thursday, we'll enjoy a mix of sun and cloud once again. But here comes Friday. So it looks like some of this precip is going to begin as some snow, but a period of freezing rain is possible in many areas. This is still a few days out, so we'll have to fine-tune this forecast over the next couple of days. But either way, plan on Friday being potentially the day of tricky travel. Into the weekend, we are mild once again, 3 degrees with showers on Sunday. Look at the cool down, though, for the early part of next week. That's your look at the weather for now. Nathan, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. For many households, it's been a challenging year, and Christmas will be more modest.
But one PEI family is refusing to scale back their annual tradition, supporting people without a roof over their heads. CTV's Maria Saru reports.
In Andrea Donaldson's living room, the holiday season starts with stuffing stockings full of necessities. They won't hang in her house. Instead, they'll be handed out to people who are homeless. Donaldson's been doing this for 7 years, inspired by her own personal experience.
This lady, she was giving out stockings to the unhoused. I was one of the recipients, and that always stuck with me. It made me feel like, loved and unforgotten.
Now, that's how she wants others to feel.
Gloves, hats.
And her children play a big part. Donaldson says it teaches them to love others, and the kids say they have other reasons too.
Because she's my prettiest mama.
Like other families across the country, this Christmas will be smaller at the Donaldsons' house, with fewer gifts under the tree.
I had to actually, tell them, this year's going to look a little different, but they still have gifts, so.
But there are many more stockings, with at least 50 going out this year, thanks to families, businesses, and organizations that donated, like the Village in Summerside.
There's a high risk involved with sleeping outside during the winter months, obviously. We've seen a lot of frostbite situations happen. We've seen people's health decline rapidly.
The stockings are filled with hand warmers, hats, hygienic products, treats, and much more.
The stockings will be distributed around Christmas Day across Montague and Charlottetown, with whatever's left over dropped off at homes across the island. Maria Saru, CTV News, Murray Harbour.
After the break, made by hand to warm the heart. Volunteers spread Christmas cheer at one GTA hospital with gifts for patients who can't be home for the holidays.
While many people are taking time off during the holidays, volunteers at one local hospital are putting in overtime.
The team at Milton District Hospital is busy crafting gift bags for patients this holiday season, and CTV's Pauline Chan paid them a visit.
They're as busy as Santa's elves here in the Arts and Crafts room at Milton District Hospital. Melba Stadler is sewing gift bags.
They have made 65 for us. Then the gift shop people go out and we buy the merchandise that go into the bags.
Things like playing cards, socks, and toiletries. Many of the patients in the continuing transitional care unit are elderly with few visitors, so gifts are always appreciated. The ladies also make personalized dolls for pediatric patients.
We start by cutting out these dolls and sewing them up, and then we stuff them, and we make little gowns for them. And we dress them, and they're taken to the pediatric ward. And from there, the doctors and nurses, they usually mark where the operation is going to be. They put little IVs on their arms, and they're given to the children that they can make their face and take them home with them.
For those staying overnight, colorful pillowcases.
Most of the fabrics are donated, and I love putting together, I'll show you a whole one, something bright and cheerful.
375 volunteers at the hospital. We just celebrated 65 years of being an auxiliary, which is incredible.
HR Director Michelle LaRue says while scheduled surgeries go down over the holidays, admissions are usually high because of emergencies and respiratory illnesses. And for those heading into surgery, the volunteers help there too.
So we keep the doctors and their offices supplied with these. And what they have in them is all the information that the surgeon's going to need to require.
At Halton Healthcare, we have over 1,300 volunteers across all 3 sites, all bringing a little bit something special to each hospital.
We ask in the community if people will save their Christmas cards, and the girls cut them all out and punch them, and they go to the Christmas wrap.
The gift wrapping desk at the local mall uses the gift tags on the presents they wrap.
The Christmas gift wrap at Milton Mall continues until December 24th, and even on Christmas Day, there will be some volunteers here at the hospital helping wherever they're needed. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
In business, real gross domestic product decreased by 0.3% in October, with a drop in manufacturing driving the decline. B&M Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has the details.
Statistics Canada reported growth in manufacturing in September ahead of this fallback in October.
This was the steepest decline since December 2022. Machinery production was down close to 7%. Wood manufacturing dropped over 7%. Washington has a tariff on furniture and wood products like cabinetry that come from Canada. That's dragging the sector down. And a strike by Canada Post workers also hit service industries. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up over 73 cents. West Texas Intermediate is up to 58.38. Western Canadian Select is up over $1 to 44.66. And the TSX gained another 58 points for another record close, ending the day at 32,058. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Still to come tonight, Cooking for a Cause, the catering company that is carving out a way to help the hungry with a menu made for the stars. That's just ahead.
Updating our top stories, homicide police are investigating after the body of a person with gunshot wounds was found in a wooded area near UofT Scarborough campus. Students and staff have been asked to avoid the Highland Creek Valley area. Police have not released any information about the victim or suspects, but say it appears to be an isolated incident.
Are you concerned for your husband's safety?
The wife of Deepak Pradkar has been tasked with keeping tabs on her husband after he was released on bail today. The lawyer is accused of playing a role in the alleged drug trafficking operation of fugitive and ex-Olympian Ryan Wedding. The judge said Pradkar's life may be in danger, with the drug network more likely to kill him than protect him.
I've noticed that shoppers started early this year because retailers launched their Black Friday promotions earlier than ever. But other than that, I would say our traffic patterns are very similar from last year.
Yorkdale, just one of many GTA malls that are busy as shoppers look to get some last-minute gifts. Most are open until 9:30 tonight, and many will be closing at about 5 o'clock tomorrow for Christmas Eve.
Well, for years, David Mintz has prepared menus fit for the stars, catering for casts and crews making TV and movie magic in Toronto.
Behind the curtain, Mintz has now found a way to cater to a different crowd, serving up fine food to those in need. CTV's Allison Hurst has the story.
David Mintz spends hours with his team cooking for everyone from TV and film stars to charitable organizations.
The more shows we do, the more food we have left over at the end of the day, and we're able to donate it to places like Elisa's house.
His catering company is one of several being recognized by Netflix. It started with a $5,000 loan and a chance on a show called War of Words in 1988.
We cooked at my mom's house. We went and provided some food for them. They liked us, and the rest is history.
Since getting involved with Netflix, his business has expanded from 5 mobile kitchens to 12 and doubled the staff.
It's interesting, it's busy, it's hectic. The film business is crazy.
The leftovers and extra prepared meals are all donated. Laura Ballas with Eliza House Women's Shelter connected with Mintz about 2 years ago and comes 2 to 3 times a week.
It would be impossible to provide the same quality and amount of food without the help of David, that's for sure.
It allows her to feed approximately 300 women a week. Today there was so much to donate, she had to make 2 trips because they couldn't fit it all in her SUV.
It means so much. It means that we are able to provide quality food. It means that the food that we're providing for the woman is freshly made, and it's made with care, and it's so delicious, and it's nutritious. It's a lot more than we would be able to provide with our food budget for the shelter.
And giving back at a time of need. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
In sports, the struggling Toronto Maple Leafs received a big boost to their blue line today with the return of Chris Tanev. The defenseman missed almost 2 months with an unspecified injury. He was back as the Buds played Pittsburgh in a matinee at Scotiabank Arena.
Just about a dozen seconds of power play time for the Leafs again. Domi! Max Domi!
The game was tied 3-3 in the third when Max Domi put the Leafs ahead to stay with a beautiful individual effort. The forward later assisted on the first of 2 empty net goals, with Toronto going on to win 6-3, ending a 3-game losing streak. This was their last game before the Christmas break, returning on Saturday against Ottawa.
And before the game, Leafs management spoke for the first time following the dismissal of its assistant coach, Marc Savard, yesterday. The GM says in no way does the decision put the blame solely on Savard.
And this doesn't absolve anybody. As I said, this is not, we throw somebody out and say, blame this person. It's a group responsibility. In this job, you always have to make decisions. So ultimately, it does fall back on the players. It falls back on all of us. But I just felt as we go through it, it was a change that we could make, right? It's a change that we could make to change the dynamic, change maybe a little bit of the play.
PP struggled all year, so it wasn't improving. We didn't see enough improvement. Obviously, results are what it's all about, and there definitely wasn't enough results. So Tree and I talked, and we made a decision.
How much of that is on Matthews and Nylander and those types of players?
Well, it's on everybody. Like I said, it's on me. I'm the head coach.
Savard's responsibilities will be handled internally for now, with assistant coach Derek Lalonde taking a lead role. The team will eventually decide whether to make an addition to the staff. Meanwhile, the GM gave his head coach a vote of confidence today, saying he supports Craig Berube fully and insisted there is no disconnect between the coach and players.
And the Toronto Scepters hit the ice today, hosting the Ottawa Charge.
Malte on the leaves, he scores!
The Scepters are coming off a 4-3 win in New York against the Sirens on Sunday. Toronto currently sits in third place with 10 points. The Charge are currently in last place with just one win in 7 games. Puck drop tonight at 7 p.m. at Coca-Cola Coliseum.
On the hardwood, the Raptors will look to get back into the win column, visiting the Miami Heat tonight.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, quick. Back-to-back freeze.
The Raptors have lost 2 in a row, coming off a 96-81 loss in Brooklyn against the Nets. Toronto has just 2 wins in its last 8 games, slipping into 5th in the Eastern Conference. Tip-off tonight is just after 7:30 in Miami.
After the break, time to bring out the fine china to celebrate. A young street store steeped in tradition reopens after a blaze. We spill the tea just ahead. An antique shop that has been a staple in this city for more than 100 years is picking up the pieces after it was ravaged by fire.
The family-run store not letting the blaze shatter their century-long legacy. CTV's Carol Charles has the story.
It's a big one. Yeah. It's done by John Connolly. Yes.
For most of us, we rarely give our plates and serving bowls a second thought. But for Will Hawkridge and his father Albert Hawkridge, it is a lifelong endeavor.
This is the Waterford Kennedy Bowl. It was presented to John F. Kennedy by Ireland.
The father and son are the proud owners of Hawkridge China on Yonge Street, where so many pieces tell a story.
This piece was made by Royal Dalton to commemorate my grandfather's 60th year of working at repairing china.
That's right, repair china. No gluing broken pieces or tossing into the trash for this family-owned business spanning 4 generations. This year marking 125 years in business. Founded in 1900 by patriarch Albert Hawkridge, the store has become a Toronto institution and a place for those who are looking for fine china and rare antiques.
Most things deteriorate. China doesn't. It could last for hundreds and hundreds of years.
People appreciate the stuff that has really high quality, hand-painted things that are more as much art as they are just everyday china.
The family legacy almost lost in May of 2024 when the second floor space caught fire. Hawkridge China sustained water damage and needed structural repairs.
We did our best to get through it. It was a difficult time.
Nearly 18 months later, they reopened for business. Father and son back again, working side by side.
A lot of family businesses, the next generation or something feels forced into doing it. Whereas William seemed to naturally be drawn to it, the same as I was.
He definitely, inspired me to put forth my best effort into things and to always try and have as much passion for what I'm doing as I possibly can.
And with determination to offer customers something unique.
This dog was put in the James Bond movies in M's office. So I moved towards things that are more unique and, hand-painted things. Each piece is its own piece, right? Because nobody paints it exactly the same again.
In the end, this isn't just a shop. It's a family legacy. After decades in business, it now proudly passes to the next generation. Carol Charles, CTV News.
All right, let's talk about tonight. I'm sure a lot of concern with the wind.
Yeah, there is some concern that winds that are this gusty could result in maybe a few power outages, maybe a little bit of localized damage. So just make sure anything loose is secured around your property for tonight. Jumping ahead to tomorrow, Christmas Eve, here's a look at your forecast. Partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy skies as the day goes on, and a daytime high near 2 degrees. The weather looks pretty quiet over the next couple of days here. There is your Wednesday, your Thursday, and your Friday. Conditions become a little more active on Friday with the arrival of a system that's either going to bring us snow or freezing rain or a combination of the two. Looking ahead to the weekend, showers for Sunday. It's mild, but much colder air returns for early next week. Flurries on Monday. Natalie and Nathan.
Thank you, Lindsay. Be sure to join Marcia McMillan tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Rahim Ladani with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thank you for watching. Have a good night.